What's going on, guys? Welcome into episode 2 of Speak the Fuck Up. You already know what it is. My name is Joe. I'm here with Pete and Griff, aka the Professional Savage, aka the Cheat Code. Glad to be back with you guys for another episode. The first thing that we wanted to do was give a big shout out to everybody who has supported us thus far. A little round of applause to y'all. I owe that to Pete. You know a lot of people. And I'm realizing that, like, just from how much support and everybody's reaching back out to you and sending you messages and things like that, like, that's wonderful for real, dog.
I mean, I've been here my entire life. 37.
But still, even at that, it's still people, like, go out of their way to make the time to support the things that you do. That says a lot about who you are.
No, I want to take a moment to address that real quick while I can. It's like what he was saying, he appreciated. You know, the term of, like, it means a lot gets thrown around, and sometimes it gets lost in translation, or you feel like it's just a phrase, but it really does mean a lot to me. I know it means a lot to the fellas, but
for sure.
I was just telling him, I was like, I didn't realize, just for you to take the time to even check it out, whether you watch the entire episode or not, it took time for you to pull it up, whether you clicked on the link or watched it, it took time for you to, you know, for those that posted about it or shared it, I appreciate that. You know, you took the time to reach out to either one of us, giving us feedback. You know, whether it's just, hey, great job, guys. Even just it's always the smallest things, but it's just the effort is what I appreciate. And I'm sure the guys can attest to it as well. Yeah. So it's like, thank you. You know, I can't express it enough. It really does. It does mean a lot. You know, to have that support. Especially something we're so excited about, that we enjoy doing, and for someone else to, you know, to believe in it as well.
Yeah, take this, like you said, take the time.
Yeah, to share it.
I kept going back to the YouTube page and hitting refresh to see it's at 183.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, it's at 206. So
dude, one of those numbers was my ex-wife, dude. And she loved it.
She did.
She loved it.
Really?
Ex-wife.
Oh, that's awesome.
She loved
really.
She loved the chemistry. She loved the fact that we were honest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just felt, it looked like we felt good doing it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, hey.
That's big props right there. That's a big up.
That's a lot.
So, I know something that we had talked about. Let me check in with you guys first. Let me start with you, Griff. How's your week been?
It's been eventful.
Yeah.
But it's only because of one event. So yesterday, my truck got broken into in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Right across the street from.
I saw it happen.
The Dad 45 we work at. Pete saw it happen.
Yeah.
About 6 o'clock, daylight, people walking around, walking their dogs, cars driving by, and they just broke into my window. Like the rear window. And didn't take anything. They took one of my bags out and left it on the ground. Didn't take anything out of it. So that was really shitty. But it's material, right?
Yeah.
I was pissed off at the moment. Pete saw I was mad. I was fuming. But it's like, there's nothing I can do about it. You know what I mean? Just let the police do whatever, get the insurance on it, and move forward, man. Yeah. It's like, it sucks. It's really unfortunate. It's really inconvenient that I gotta deal with somebody else's stupidity. You know what I mean? But shit happens. It's not the first time it's happened in that parking lot. I may need to reconsider where I park. But also, too, I think that damn truck is cursed.
Why do you think it's cursed?
I've had more issues with that truck than I've ever had with any vehicle I've ever owned.
Like mechanical or break-ins?
Break-in, people running into it, all kinds of stuff. Just random shit, man. And it's just like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? So I'm trying to get rid of that damn truck and get something else. So that is giving me the blues for way too long.
I was there when his taillight got broken.
Right. He saw that part too.
And I was there when this car got broken.
It's almost like.
So did you see the guy like hit it? Or?
No, I didn't see the guy hit it. I just pulled up, and then I was getting stuff out of my car, and I heard like a shattering noise. But I didn't think anything of it because there was construction on the area too, so it didn't really dawn on me to look up and say, hey, what's going on? You know?
Yeah.
But then as I was walking around to my trunk is when I see this dude like pulling a bag out of Griff's SUV. And he saw me look at him, and so he just got in his car and took off. And
hey,
I'm over here like, but he didn't even have plates for me to take a picture of the car. So I almost go to Griff.
So by law, if somebody, let's say, does that count? If somebody was to come out like shooting at this guy for breaking into somebody else's car, is that defense in the third person, or is that like, you know, protection of somebody's property? Like if something like that went down, like if I saw somebody breaking in your car and I pulled like the yammer out and was like, hey, yo, like.
I don't know.
I'm trying to remember the last. I took that damn class so long ago I can't remember. But I feel like it is by law legal to do that because you're protected.
At least to pull on them and
right.
like, yeah.
When it comes to actually pulling the trigger, I think that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
But to brandish your weapon, it's one of those things where it's like a fine line, man. There's so many loops and all
They
that
can
stuff
say
with the law.
if you have your finger on the trigger, that's already like intent.
Yeah.
I mean, just keep it off.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if your finger's right into the trigger,
Yeah.
So if you brandish and just show it, it's different.
Yeah.
But if you put your finger on the trigger, it's intent to.
you're right.
To harm him.
Yeah.
Well, he's breaking in
But he's
somebody's
breaking in
shit.
somebody's
That's my friend's
stuff,
shit.
Right? You're
Finna
for the burglars or robbers breaking into people's home, falling through the roof, getting hurt, and suing them.
Like,
They win the lawsuit?
Yeah.
yeah, that stuff
No.
happens. Bro. That stuff happens. Man.
Yes. I can't make this shit up.
I got hurt
I'm not
breaking
that
into your
creative.
shit.
Yeah.
Now you owe me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you gotta pay my medical bills. Like,
Nah,
yeah, I can't
that's
make that
ass backwards.
yeah, I can't make that up. I'm not that creative.
Well, shit, Pete, what's going on with you? How you doing?
Man, it's good. I'm still stuck on a question about, you know, just knowing a lot of people. Like, it just plays in your head, you know? And so I've been riding high all week. Like I said, you know, just seeing the response. And even though if the video's already been up for like a week, and people are still chiming in.
9 days.
In.
That's how long I've been going back and looking. It's been 9 days. Yeah.
So you really just appreciate all the relationship that you establish, or I establish, you know, even with those that I keep up with on a daily basis, those that I don't get a chance to keep up with on a daily basis. But it's just one of those things where it's a genuine relationship. And you can reach out to them. Even when you like that, and that's one of the great things about social media is that you can see what everybody's lives are like, you know, and back and forth and kind of respond here and there, and even if it's just like comments here or there or whatnot. But as far as my week goes, man, it's been exhausting, but it's been a blessed one. You know, like, you know, with transitioning into the whole new role at the hospital and whatnot. So yeah. And I'm excited. I look forward to this.
Yeah, this is the part of the week like I'm overly anxious for.
Yeah.
And I'm like, when this day comes, I'm like, all right, well, it's here finally, and we get to see each other. Like we see each other throughout the week every now and then, but it's in passing. Like we're getting ready for classes, we're doing our own thing.
Right.
But then, like, you know, you set that time out to meet with people and be intentional with your time. So we're spending intentional time together. Hopefully, bringing y'all something of substance and value.
You know, people, and I've had some people ask us, so, you know, what's your goal with the podcast and whatnot? And we kind of did put it in our description for the podcast platform, but it's really us just gathering around and having an outlet, I guess, for lack of a better term, or a platform to kind of express some of the things, especially this year. It's so crazy, you know, and like mental health, and really just talk about whatever it is out there, anything and everything. You know, stuff that's generalized, stuff that's trending, controversial stuff, you know, life stuff, love, relationship. I mean, y'all get the gist.
No, yeah, and speaking of relationships, I gotta check on my guy. He's behind the camera right now. So, with that relationship advice, because we got a screenshot of something, and somebody said that relationship advice was pretty legit. Have you put it to use? Or are you still even talking to the girl?
It's more like we're just like friends now, you know, like I'm like focused, it's like a chapter of my life that I just need to focus on myself. So it's more like, I'm gonna take that advice and use it for the future.
Yeah.
But also like incorporate that into my friendship as well, you know, like just like living life and everything like that.
That's what's up.
Yeah, he pulled the can we remain friends?
Did you tell her that or did she tell you?
Oh yeah, it's like, I'm gonna say it's mutual.
You know, I've been dumped by every single girl that I've ever been with. I've only broken up with one girl. I was like, what the fuck? Every single relationship. Hey, I don't think this is gonna work anymore. I remember one time this girl broke up with me. She said, and I don't know why it hurt so bad. She was like, I don't see a future for us. I said, you don't see my future? You don't see it? You fucking hurt me.
It's not. Oh, it's literally. It wasn't even. It's not you. It's me. It's you.
It's you. Hey yo, let me tell you real quick. I just don't.
Hey, at least she was honest.
At least she was honest.
And it saved all time and headache.
But she still like had sex with me after like the breakup. I don't understand.
I mean,
that
it's
part.
good. It's good, you know. but in our guy's defense, Andrew over here, he is studying for those that don't know. I mean, they haven't even gotten a chance to see him, so I don't know if he wants to come around or not. But this guy is studying for his state boards. He's also a nursing graduate, so he's getting ready for his state boards.
Put some arrows right there.
Did you have like an interview or whatever with some of the hospitals? So hey, we want to wish him like the best. Like,
for
best
real.
of luck, blessings. I know you got your boards coming up, so hey, y'all throw out some positive vibes for him that way. You know, it's crazy when you take the state boards. I remember when I took mine multiple times, but that's for another episode.
Nothing wrong with doing things multiple times. Well, so we got that in. I sent you guys a link earlier. Agus Alcina song. You know, last episode, a little recap of last episode. We talked a little bit about, you know, entanglement and love and things from that. If you haven't heard it, I'm not going to recommend going to listen to the song. But if you want to, Agus Alcina, who was entangled with Jada and the whole situation, he released a song about the whole thing. And it hurt my heart because Rick Ross was on it. And I like Rick Ross, but he, you know, just going at Will, I feel like that's a shot at Will from Rick too. And how do you...
my boy Will alone?
I'm saying, like, how does that make you feel? Like, you know, we come out, we do this, not to stay on this too long, just to touch it and go. But then this kid releases a whole song about what I may or may not have done with the woman that you love.
Man.
Yeah, you sent me back a message. I think
It's so fucked up, man, because it's like, it's almost like he's doing that just for a come up. It's like he wasn't good enough. He wasn't good enough to do it on his own with his own creativity. So he had to take an unfortunate situation and use that to his advantage in a bad way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's some pussy shit, dude. That's such a pussy move.
See, I don't understand it because he was already known. So I don't understand why you would do that.
Exactly. It's a pussy move.
Yeah.
Pussy move.
All right, so I came up with it. I was like, all right, Jaden got to fight him. Like Will has done so much for us. Like I said, somebody got to defend Will's honor. So I'm putting it on Jaden. If you watch this video, it's time for you to fight Agus.
We can
always add him, right?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, but he probably has like a gatekeeper and
some shit.
Partner.
Probably gets like 10 million notifications.
I don't know. We can put this on Twitter and be like, "Hey, Twitter, do your thing."
Yeah. Look us up with whatever.
They'll get to him on Twitter.
Will,
you know how Twitter works.
Yeah, Twitter world. You're the judge, the jury, and the executioner.
You really are. You write yourself your own suicide on Twitter.
You're
like,
right. Yeah,
you do the
you
wrong
gotta be careful
thing.
what you post on Twitter or what gets on Twitter.
I checked out The Last Guard finally. The movie that you had mentioned and discussed with
the old guard.
Yeah, the old guard.
With,
The old guard. What's her
Charlize
name?
Theron?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
It
It was pretty good. You hadn't had a chance to see it yet, right?
I have pulled up, been wanting to watch it. I mean, I was at my girl's place, and her and her family were watching it, and I remember I was doing something for work, so I didn't get a chance to actually pay attention.
Yeah.
But I want to see it. I mean, I'm a big fan of Charlize anyway, so.
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't bad. It was a good concept behind it. Some of the parts were dry for me, but other than that, it was cool, man.
Yeah, it was something a little different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that was good. So, all right, so last episode, recapping on some things, we talked about being able to effectively communicate. So I want to ask you guys, were we able to execute some of those things that we talked about ourselves in our relationships and moving forward? Not even just our relationships, but with our friendships and with people.
I wanted to touch on that, actually.
Yeah.
Did your lady watch it? Did your lady watch it?
Because, you know, I said some stuff. I was like, hey, like, let's let this one, like, watch it later. Later. Like, yeah. So I went and explained to her, like, what I said, because I don't want anything to be misinterpreted in the relationship that I'm in now. So I always make sure, like, hey, I said this, this, and this, but I'm speaking from the standpoint of how I felt during this time period. So I'm able to revert back, go back to it, and give these feelings of how I felt during that time before anything is misconstrued. And then the communication's off, and then, you know, you're thinking one type of way about stuff.
But you're upfront about it, though.
Yeah, I'm upfront about it.
So I know my girl watched it, but she told me she didn't get a chance to finish it. She said she watched like 75% of it, but I didn't even follow up with her to see if she watched the rest, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna be like, why didn't you watch it, kind of thing. You know, it's like, you know, you put it out there, and they understand that conversations are said, and like I said, they know that we keep this raw and unedited. And it's not a testament of what we're doing now that is wrong. We're not doing anything. It's just, you know, like you said, the conversation, it may be stuff that's from the past that you've learned from. But at the same time, that may be not some of the things they want to hear or would like to hear. You know, they understand that where we're at in our relationship now is like solid. You know, it's good. You know, so I totally get it.
I felt some kind of way. I was like, baby, you watched the show yet? She's like, oh no, I haven't watched it yet. Like, why you ain't watching the show?
Did you feel like she wasn't supporting you?
No, because she explained, she was like, I know it's going to be good because you're so excited about it.
Yeah.
So she knows that I've been looking for something, you know, like an outlet like this anyway. So she's happy that I'm finally doing it and that I'm excited about it. So, you know, I'm not mad at her.
But even with that being said, like some of the feedback that we've gotten from guys or girls, but especially from the women, which we appreciate, because we, like we said before, we wanted a woman's perspective. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, you only know what you know and you don't know what you don't know, and different perspective opens different things as long as you keep an open mind and an open channel. Right. You know, but like I said, the ladies or the women were like, hey, we really appreciate, or it's nice, it's refreshing to hear like a man's point of view on certain things, and like you said, because we were open and we were all about it, you know, to our own attachments and stuff. So that's something they can appreciate. But with that being said, I know some folks had like shot us questions, some of the issues or topics that y'all wanted us to cover, and we'll get to it, you know. And so again, whenever you watch stuff like this, or if you listen to it, because you know this will eventually be out there on podcast platform. If you have questions or suggestions or topics you want maybe like our input on it. Like women, do you ever wonder what guys talk about when you're not around, kind of thing?
I think they kind of know.
I'm pretty sure they know. Women are smart, like they know, you know. But like I said, let us know. You know, the constructive criticism is really one of the ways for us to grow.
Have you noticed, you know, in saying that, like with women wondering, like what we talk about when they're not around, that as you get older, those conversations kind of die down. Like you don't, and I guess for lack of a better term, like the objectifying of women, kind of like you know, back when you're younger, like damn, like this,
locker room talk.
And you would, yeah. But as you get older, it just doesn't happen.
Right.
Have you noticed that kind of?
Yeah, because your conversation.
I was about to say it changes.
It changes.
Yeah.
But it should.
Yeah.
But now with that being said, it kind of takes me back to a Will Smith movie, actually, Pursuit of Happiness, right? And that reminds me of a conversation that I had in one of the classes that I taught. And I was like, and for those that have never seen the movie, Pursuit of Happiness, I highly recommend or suggest you go check it out for the first time. For those that have seen it, try to remember the last time you saw it. Because I'm going to assume that movie came out, 10 years ago, maybe? Even longer, probably? So if we saw it when it first came out, we were at a different point in our life. The conversations were different. Maybe the crowd that we were running with was probably even different. Our life experience definitely has changed since then. You looking it up for us?
Yeah.
Sweet man, whatever it is. I still don't have connection on my iPad. I don't even know how to use Hotspot.
Came out in 2006.
How ironic. I'm Asian, right? Supposed to be tech savvy. Anyways, back to the topic. If you haven't seen the movie in a while, maybe check it out again. Because one, you'll catch things that you might not have caught before. But two, you have a different perspective and maybe a different appreciation for the movie because we've experienced more of life since the movie first came out or since we first seen it to now. And even if you've seen it twice or 3 times, maybe watch it again now because I'm pretty sure it's been at least a year or 2 since you've seen the movie. And so life experience have come into play and it's like, I didn't catch that before. Yeah. You know, the movie has him and his son in there and the sacrifice that he makes for his son. Maybe when you first caught that movie, you didn't have a child yet, and now you might have had a child of your own, and so things change, and so you have a different appreciation for that movie or what the movie's even about, the whole pursuit of happiness.
See, that's crazy because I have a son, so I'm divorced. So my ex-wife and I, we divorced, but we have a son, and we're very amicable for our son. Like we have a great relationship, co-parenting our son, our son. So watching that movie again, like my son and I, we have a song, and it's the Just the Two of Us song from like Will Smith. Like he'll ask me to play it. Yeah, like he'll ask me to play it like before he goes to bed and everything like that. But I wanted to like just keep going on that. Like give a shout out to some of the parents out there that are in co-parenting relationships, because like during this whole COVID thing, there was a period of 7 weeks where I couldn't bring him to my house because he was over there. So I'll have to go over masked up with gloves on. And then right now he's in a residence where somebody has COVID, so I haven't been able to see him. So it's something that's been on my heart. And, you know, just real quick, like I want, you know, you guys stay strong, keep your heads up out there. For those of you that have that relationship with your kids and you aren't able to see them right now, wanted to touch on that just a brief second. That reminded me of that. because you go through situations like that. You know, can you imagine like being locked in the bathroom with your kid trying
Yes.
to sleep, and you know that would bring me, like, it brought him to tears. Like, I'm out here grinding though.
Yeah.
I'm out here grinding, and I'm trying to make something for you so we can have a better life, and go from there. So I resonate with a lot of sentiments in that movie of wanting to create and have the best things for yourself,
right,
that enable you to create for your child, you know.
But I can appreciate you sharing that, and I thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And you know, before I say what I wanted to say, again, shout out to single parents, whether you're a woman or a man. I mean, it's hard, it's rough.
Yeah.
But for you to do it on your own and not necessarily have the support system that you want or hope for, like, just mad props isn't even enough to show, you know, the appreciation that we have for that. And it reminds me, or it makes me think about what my parents go through or went through, or my mom went through. Remember, I alluded to that last episode about my mom, you know, fleeing our country during the Vietnam War and the sacrifices that she made. And, you know, not just to make a long story short, the sacrifices, like, for the Asian culture, I can't speak on all Asian culture, but the Vietnamese culture, especially your parents that are refugees that had fled the country, coming over here with literally nothing. But to be able to put, you know, my sister and I through college, through school,
right,
you know, support us in making sure that we are financially stable, food on the table, roof over our head, clothes on our backs and everything, and getting an education and instilling to us, like, they have that survival mentality, coming over with nothing and being able to do what they do now. And we're like the first Asian American generation now, you know. It's like we have a different approach to it because we have the resources handed to us. And a lot of us take that for granted, you know. It's like we have that dreamer's mentality. It's like, hey, I can do whatever I want, be whatever I want, but am I putting in the work for it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I can see where our parents would be like, man, y'all waste the opportunity that you have, you know. But you're looking back to, like, you know, the co-parenting. Like, my lady has, you know, her son, and so folks have asked me, you know, close friends or even, you know, acquaintances, so like, so how does that work, you know, in the co-parenting aspect of it, you know, how are you and the kids' father and stuff? It's like, me, the guy, like, we have a respect for each other. I don't have anything against him, he doesn't have anything against me. You know, I even told her in the beginning, it's like, hey, I want your son to have a relationship with his dad. Like, I know where my role is, but anyways, it's like to watch him go through the years as well. It's like, so how have you handled it, Pete? It's like, you know what? It's different because my relationship with my niece and my nephew is one thing, and then my relationship with, you know, with her son is another. It's like I'm having to learn him, and like what he likes, what he doesn't like, what he responds to, what he doesn't respond to. And so I guess in an essence, it kind of gives me a leg up because I get to stand back out of the scene. Again, trying to understand my role and what my role is moving forward. But I get a chance to kind of watch him and then interact with him. And it's like, it's different because now I know how to approach him, what works for him, what doesn't. You know, it's like, I'm not going to be like, hey, I'm going to tell you to do this and I need you to do it because I said so.
Right.
You know? And so, yeah, it's been interesting. It's been fun. It's been a privilege.
So how do you navigate towing that line, towing that boundary of not being overly, you know, being too much,
right,
to where, like, you're, I guess, too stern on the kid. The kid's not used to it, but you were raised a certain way, and so that style kind of plays into you, and then you spit that back out into raising whatever. Like, you treat the kid the same way you treat your nieces, your nephews, your uncles, your cousins. How do you toe that line and make sure you don't go overboard?
Man, I think taking it a step at a time.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, you know, trial and error.
Yeah.
Really? There's no right or wrong way to do it, I guess, in that sense.
You learn as you go.
Right.
Griff, like, so we both have been divorced. We have kids. How do you feel about, like, you know, potentially your ex-wife dating another guy and another guy coming in? Because I've thought about that.
At first, I was kind of like, I felt some kind of way about it, but the relationship that me and my ex-wife had was like, I want her to be happy. Right? Because if she's not happy, then the kids won't be happy. You know, it's just a whole big mess. So it's like, if I couldn't do it, I hope that she can find somebody else that will. You know what I mean? So I'm all about it.
Right.
You know, but I want her to make sure that, you know, she's making a good choice.
Right.
You know, because it's easy, you know, especially when it comes to being lonely, or like in my situation, I'm dating someone else or whatever. It was a rough patch for a while, but it's funny now because she loves my girlfriend now. Like she thinks she's awesome. Of course, I think she's awesome. So it's like, she sees that I'm happy and that's what she wants too. So it's like we both want the same thing for each other. So it's like, do you? You know what I mean? If you need to find happiness in someone else, then do it. If you don't need someone else, then you don't.
Right.
But, be smart about your decision, of course. Because it's like, then you're going to look at, well, you're going to have this person around my kids.
Yeah.
Make sure,
that they're on the up and
right.
up.
Yeah.
And
so it's like, I trust her decision making because she's not an idiot at all.
Mm-hmm.
She's one of the smartest fucking people I know. Mm-hmm. So she's really protective of the kids. So
rightfully so. I mean,
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So ain't nobody, just anybody, gonna get a shot.
Right.
Like she don't fuck around. You know what I mean? So she won't waste time.
That's good though.
Exactly.
And
so
that's
like
fortunate
I can
because a lot
trust
of people
her.
don't get that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like I trust her. She
make a decision.
Judgment,
right.
instincts, and whatnot.
So I don't really worry about that at all.
Yeah.
I
mean,
she'll fuck around.
I guess to sum it up, like if I had to sum it up, it's like it's a title, like, oh, is he gonna be your stepson, your son, whatever? Like, you know what? I just want to be able to teach him to grow to be a strong individual,
right.
like a strong gentleman, So like, it's not necessarily like I'm gonna discipline him or anything of that sort. It's more or less, okay, what can I teach him along the way that I wish I was taught? And again, different mentality, parents coming from a different background and, first Asian American generation would grow up in a different environment, and resources and opportunities. It's like, I remember we went bike riding yesterday. I remember asking him, it's like, hey, you remember the first thing I taught you? He goes, kind of. And I was like, I'll give you a hint. What do you usually do for a lady, especially your mom? He goes, oh, I remember, hold the door. Just some small stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope to be able to instill in some of the things just as he grows up. And like, I can care less for the title as long as I treat him with respect, he treats me with respect. And that's why I told her, it's like, hey, the title is the title.
Right.
I'm gonna be in his life, whatever. His dad's gonna be in his life, and like I said, I made that a point in the beginning of the relationship. It's like I want him to have that relationship with his birth father. Like that's how the dynamic should be. Exactly. That's how it should be. And like I understand my role, and the role that I play, and how it is. Of course, the future is the future.
Right.
I'm worried about the present. Like, okay, what can I do to make sure that he has what he needs? And if he has questions, he has the comfortability knowing that he can come to me if he has any questions about anything, if he needs anything. But at the same time, I'm like, all right, man, what can I teach you to where you're going to be a solid dude?
See, that's the same exact way that I am with my son, because I grew up in a single parent household. So single parent household, Section 8, like I'm talking mom goes to work and she's like, hey, don't open this door for nobody, don't answer the phone type, like, and there's money for pizza. Like, so it was like, okay, like, yes ma'am, and that's what it was. But I realized having my son, and like you said, teaching him, I'm able to give him so many things that weren't given to me at an early age. Yeah. And I tell him, I was like, man, you have a big advantage. Yeah. Like you're 5 years old and you already got a plethora of knowledge that I would have loved to have had, even though granted you're 5, but I'm here to be able to drop that down on you and give that to you. So I definitely feel you where you're coming from right there. But also, thinking about the way that, the women take care of us and everything that they do, everything that they deal with. Women put up with a lot from being like in a single parent household, but also we got some DMs this week. We got some DMs from a couple ladies, and they kind of outlined some things that have been going on with them. One specifically that came to you. Yeah. And it was based on the topic of sexuality.
Wait, just so the our ladies don't think it was.
No, like you're not out here.
It wasn't like a bad, like, hey, let me slide in your DM.
Yeah, I said it would happen, but it's not yet. Not yet. Not like that. Yeah,
it was more or less them giving us feedback.
Yes, absolutely.
Hey, I enjoyed that episode. Can you touch on this? Yeah.
Let me clear that. Did it sound bad? Did I make it sound bad?
No. I just didn't want them to misunderstand.
Yeah, because I don't. You call me at 3 a.m. I'll answer. I'll be like, no, that's a. Yeah. I've had friends do that.
Who's that? Oh, it's
Jake from State
Farm. Jake from State Farm. No, because okay. So one of the topic or one of the question was like sexuality and social norm, or what is like socially acceptable.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna flat out and say it, like dick pics.
Yeah.
You know, I forgot how the conversation ended up with that. I remember. She was saying that she was watching the episode, and then she woke up and she saw a message on her phone, and then she was like, "Ooh, message!" So she clicked it, and then all of a sudden it was just
straight.
It was straight.
Oh, he had him
I
hard.
don't know. I didn't ask her to describe it. I didn't ask her to describe the picture. She was just like, "Why?"
Oh, yeah.
So I mean, I guess it just kind of like took her back, and like it. I don't know, like if it ruined the rest of her day or it set her tone completely different. But can you imagine like waking up and seeing just an inappropriate? First thing you see is just an inappropriate.
I've gotten dick pics before. It's not a flat.
You have?
Yes, man.
You yourself?
Yeah, I swear, I've gotten dick pics before on Instagram. That's why, and it made me. I realized I was like, men are disgusting. I've gotten dick pics before, and it made me realize I was like, damn.
How did it make you feel?
Disgusting. Like, why are you sending me a dick pic? I don't even know you first and foremost. Even if I did know you, I'd be looking at you even weirder. Like, what are you doing? So like to randomly just get messages on Instagram and then they come in and you open it and some dude's dick or a dude telling you some stuff that he wants to do to you, that'd be like, damn, this is the shit that some dudes be firing off to women.
And they think
like,
it works.
First of all, it ain't working with me. Second of all, it's disgusting. And it takes me back to like, you know, the norm in sexuality. The norm in sexuality is based off of the tone that she sets. Yeah. So if she tells you that I like this, this, and this, and whatever else it may be, that's the norm in sexuality. That's where you know you can go and where you can't go. Once you step outside of there, you're no longer in the norm. And it's her right to stop you and tell you no and to end all things, and it's not your right to question it, you know?
Yeah.
So that
she doesn't even have, like she doesn't even owe
an explanation,
the guy an explanation
Hell
or even
no.
a response. Like,
no,
it's unsolicited, it's inappropriate, it's like, just like, why?
Yeah.
Like, what? Like, I don't know if they just want to be an asshole or if they're a douche, but some guys legit think like, this is the route I'm gonna take, and this is what's gonna
like once she.
I mean, I've been in such. I'm not empathizing, but I've been in such states of horniness where I've done some questionable things, and I'm like, damn, like you need to calm the fuck down. So I can understand the bad decision making on that end, but I've never sent an unsolicited, pic like that. I never understood that. I never got that. Like, just calm down. I might have sent like a DM that was just like, and then I look back at it and I'm like, God, what the hell was I thinking?
Yeah, it still goes on. But it goes, like I said, sex sells, I get it. And everything you pull up on social media now, or if you even pull just a regular like Google page and you may be Googling something appropriate or for work or whatever, but you could be searching bikini, for example. Like the ladies, you could be searching bikini, but then you go pull your page back up for something else, and all of a sudden next thing you have ads for like, bikinis, lingerie, whatever, or like couples. It's just something that deals with sex or whatnot. So sexuality is out there. But that reminds me of a really interesting thing that I did. Okay, so I took a human sexuality class back in college as an elective. Thinking like, oh man, I'm gonna learn all kinds of shit, about sexuality, like Kama Sutra. That's gonna be the class textbook. To my surprise, for those that have never taken human sexuality, it's just a statistics class. This is a stats class, and how people get married, how people get divorced. Anyways, I wrote a paper, and one of the things I've learned in that paper, and yes, I had reliable resources, by the way, because we had to cite our sources. Thank you very much. It wasn't Wikipedia or nothing.
Wikipedia is a reliable source.
Is it?
The sources are cited at the bottom of the page where you can pull it up.
I can make something up and be on Wikipedia.
But there are people that fact check Wikipedia. Wikipedia's a source. All right, that's stand by my
Well, it wasn't a source that my professor was willing to take.
Keep going.
Anyway, what I've learned in writing that paper was that women think about sex not just more, but way more than men do. And of course, this is back then, so I don't know if that still holds true. I'm pretty sure it does, because women have agreed. But the thing is that men are able to express it more. They express it more. It's more acceptable in society for men to express it more versus women. Like I said, times have changed.
Right.
Women are more expressive nowadays. By the time, it's like they can't. Otherwise, they're deemed a hoe or slut or whatnot. So it's like, women think about sex more than men do. It seems like it's reversed because men are able to express it openly.
I feel like there's certain things openly that women express more sexually than men can. just to play devil's advocate. So like if we're going on talking the norms of sexuality, like sex toys, you don't never hear, like I can walk to a coffee shop and hear girls chatting about their sex toys and what they did. But if I sit down with a couple of fellas and I start talking, and first of all, we're probably gonna be like, "Hey, well, wait a minute." Like, see, look, that's because it's not the norm to be able to have those conversations about male sex toys.
For those that can see our faces, can see me and Griff's face. But for those that are just gonna be listening to this later, you can't see our faces. And it's like, wait, whoa, time out. We're not gonna go there.
No, it's just one of the norms that So there's certain norms that they have that we don't have, and there's certain norms that we have that they don't have. But the vast generalization is, and we see a lot of that shit in the media with all these guys getting in trouble, like from girls coming from way back in the day.
Yeah.
And shit that gets swept under the rug for years and years and years and years, and then they come out and they got like 30 accused. And I believe the accusers.
But I think it's also against the law now to send unsolicited, inappropriate pics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit's wild.
But speaking about, like you said, social media and stuff. Okay, so coming from a nursing background or medical background, I actually sent this to y'all, and some of you may be aware of the articles that are circulating. Andrew even posted about this. There was an article that was, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was published in like a vascular journal.
Yeah, vascular surgery.
Yeah, like a vascular surgery journal where a group of men did some type of research on social media posting and what's deemed appropriate and what's inappropriate. And and one thing that stood out and jumped out, which I think was trash, by the way. I'm going ahead and say it. I thought the article was trash.
It really is.
They were saying that a physician or of anyone of that in that position professionally that posts like bikini pictures or whatever, and if they're a surgeon or in the medical field, they're deemed inappropriate. And I'm like, wait, in a bikini? Like, okay, so... But they didn't address anything about the men wearing bathing suits.
They sat there and had a whole write-up about it.
Yes.
Like, you know what type of loser you have to be to have a whole conversation, and all of you are probably over 60 years old, so ain't nobody fucking with you no ways. So why are you on this girl's page worried about her goddamn bikini? I think there's a weird way for y'all to get y'all's rocks off, and I'll probably never meet y'all, but that's me telling y'all to y'all's face, y'all a bunch of weirdos.
You know, it's like, I'm surprised that article even got, like, published.
Like, why? Why are you worried about it?
At this point, their journal, like, retracted it, and then they sent out their BS apology. I mean, whatever, that bullshit political, like, saving face kind of thing. Like, no, that should not have been published in the first place. We should. I don't even know why they got support for that particular study.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's like I stand firm behind that. Like, I know I have a lot of friends that are in the medical field, and even if you're not in the medical field, and you're in a professional environment, you're a professional, you carry yourself well, you work your ass off to get to where you're at, and it's a bathing suit of all things. It's
right.
You're allowed to go on vacations. You're allowed to take pictures with your family on the beach in your bathing suit, and you can't even be by the pool for all that matters. Like, who are these guys to even deem like, oh, this is appropriate, this is inappropriate?
And I'm glad that we switched over to that, because one thing that we did also see in the news, first and foremost, our thoughts and prayers go out to the young lady's family over in Turkey. We saw a lot of hashtags circulating around the whole challenge accepted hashtag, and then it turned into women empowering women. And I caught the back end of it, and how I read it was just a bunch of famous women nominating other famous women. But then we caught the real true story behind it. There was a young lady in Turkey. She was murdered. Her name was Pinar. Did you know, first and foremost, like I said, our thoughts and prayers go out to that. They have something called femicide over there, where just the murder of females is at a large rate. And it wasn't until recent that a campaign group, We Will Stop Femicide, began tracking murders, because the government in Turkey didn't keep notes of that.
Yeah.
So it's like, you go through all, putting the dick pic shit aside and all that, across the world, there are women out there being murdered simply for being women. And a lot of it coming from like family members and people that they know, and there's absolutely no repercussions for this. So
for those that don't know what we're talking about, what we're referring to, just to kind of give you a brief background, because like I said, in the beginning, we didn't know what this was either. We thought it was just another trend. Yeah. It's very similar to the whole black square kind of thing, and now when we're just posting black and white pictures with the hashtag challenge accepted or the hashtag women empowerment, or, women support women, which is cool. That's something that I can get behind. I'm sure y'all know
absolutely
as well.
Absolutely.
But like I said, in the beginning, when we first caught wave of it, it's like, oh, here's another trend. Cool. It's a cool trend. I get it. But then, as people are starting to tell the backstory or how it even came about in the first place, and it give us an opportunity to actually do research and look into it. Mm-hmm. It's like, so Turkey, which is also a interesting information or learned, was that the country is like the 6th.
Yeah.
For social media or Instagram usage, mm-hmm. right? And so what it is just people wake up and see black and white photos of women who have been murdered, killed.
It's like it's been normalized over there.
And so that's a way for people to know. It's almost like an obituary.
Yeah.
Without words. Yeah. Here's a black and white photo of this woman that was killed recently or yesterday.
Yeah.
And so that's where the movement came about. So as far as the international movement goes, and that's where it became about, where women are starting to post black and white pictures of themselves. And I love it.
I can't, and I personalize this because we all have women in our lives that we care about.
Yes.
And so for someone like this young lady was killed by her boyfriend. To know that this is happening in the world, and then you have the women around you that you love and care about, not only in your family, not only the ones that you date, but the women that we train with, like we see them every single day.
Every day.
If we were to hear something like that happen to them, like that's a big shock. Yeah. So it's like, how do we ready ourselves? We can talk about it. How do we make it a better world for them? What can we do to help? Right. What can we do to help, as opposed to just talking about it? Let us know.
And that's the thing about these trends, ladies and gentlemen. It's like, look, guys, trend is cool. It brings awareness. Mm-hmm. But now that we are aware, what are we going to do? Yeah. Like, being aware is completely different than being active.
Right. Absolutely.
And we got to understand the difference. Absolutely. It's like, hey, posting a picture, black and white, and supporting each other, that's cool, but that's easy. Anyone can do a hashtag. Anyone can post a picture.
Black
but exactly. Even the whole black square at the point. It's like the study that showed how many millions of people posted that square. But then what percentage of that even actually just simply sign a petition to it?
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, so here's the trend at this point. We're aware of how that trend started in the first place, but now what are we going to do about it? Right? Let's not just be trendy.
Trends in.
Yeah.
And then I saw that on the post today where people are like, well, what about this going on? This and that. I'm like, just because you don't see it in the news, I don't even know how I want to put this. Just because you don't see it in the news right now doesn't mean it's not happening.
Yeah.
When it disappears out of the news, the fight is still going on.
Yes.
You can join in and go and do what you need to do to support that cause. You don't have to see it up on the news every single day.
And I get it. It's so easy for someone to not care because it doesn't affect them directly. But come on, man, we're not about just us. Like, you got friends, you got families, you got a community. We're always talking about community, like one community. We're all in this together. But again, this is a whole nother episode that we can dedicate to, as far as like, why is everything got to be so political? Why is it one side versus one side? Or at what point does this movement become, I'm against you kind of thing? And again, just to kind of bring it back to being aware and then being active, it's like breast cancer awareness. But it's not just breast cancer awareness. There's marches for it. There's donations. There's a whole month set aside. Again, we don't have to glorify it. Right. But let's be active about it.
I think that's the problem. People are trying to find a way to glorify whatever. It's like, you don't have to hashtag every fucking thing you do. Just go do something.
And so what if it doesn't bring you attention?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's not what it's about. It should be about that in the first place.
You think we face a lot of that? People doing things for attention, for social media, photo ops and stuff like that?
Exactly.
That's loyalty nowadays, man. That's the currency of loyalty nowadays, is attention.
Yeah.
Wow.
It really is.
Okay.
Sad to say.
Yeah. It's not about doing it because you want to do it for the love of doing it or to make a difference. You're doing it for that hashtag.
Yeah, man. I'll say it again.
To bring yourself some sort of gain. Yeah, not everybody, but you can tell. I think you can tell the ones that are doing it for themselves more so than the actual purpose of getting it done and actually helping out.
Man, it's so easy to be able to tell when something or someone is genuine as far as a purpose or something that you do. Because, man, I don't care how often or how much you have to fake it till you make it. The truth is going to eventually come out, man. Right. It's like your true intention is... Like, energy speaks volumes, vibes. It's... And if you want to throw science into it, energy is neither created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. And so if your energy isn't genuine, man, that bullshit will be read easily.
Yeah.
So... But, yeah, it's... Ladies, women.
We are with you. 100%.
I can't express, like, sometimes I don't have the words to express it. I remember a class where it was just strictly, so for those that don't know, we keep saying class, we're F45 trainers. That's how we know. We all work together too as well. So this isn't just us like, oh, let's get together around a table and talk about whatever. We share a common passion, and working with people and like I said, it was a class of just all women, and I was like, man, it's the women empowered movement isn't just now. Like, this isn't just a new trend that's going on.
No.
And it's like, I love to see that support too. And I had a conversation saying, I wish I saw this amongst men as well. But that's a whole different story.
Like men empowerment?
No, not necessarily men empowerment, just
Okay.
men supporting each other.
Right.
Versus having to hate on each other. But
See,
again, that's a whole different conversation. I don't want to take that from a conversation of women right now. It's like ladies, man, I tip my hat off to you. Like,
absolutely.
It's like
100%.
things that you do, especially
100%, no
watching
doubt.
mothers, like just being a NICU nurse before, just being able to watch a mom, or even watching my sister raise my niece and nephew, and watching my lady raise her son, and my own mother, and y'all. I mean, like the ladies in y'all's lives. I'm pretty, like I said, I'm a loss for words.
Right.
To show
how amazing,
how amazing y'all are.
Mm-hmm. Like that's what I say to my ex-wife all the time. Like, I'm one of her biggest fans. Like the way she takes care of the way she loves I'm not gonna say takes care of them. The way she loves the kids, it blows me away.
Yeah.
Like, the sacrifices that she makes for them, you know what I mean? It's just it blows my mind. I got nothing but love and respect for her.
So I guess it's true. Can't live with them. Can't live without them. Right?
They're the best. Girls are awesome.
Yeah. Girls are amazing. Women are amazing. Females are amazing.
Women are
Ladies,
amazing.
thank you. You know,
we 100% stand with the women, especially we know that you're watching. You know that you give us the feedback. That's not why we stand with you. We stand with you because you're human beings.
Yeah.
And you deserve that respect, and you deserve that love and that adoration. That that's where we come from. That's where it comes from the heart. Like I grew up, moved to Texas when I was 11. But my mom sent me to live with her brother, and he would go off and coach football. So then I would be with his wife, and she would take care of me. And she's not my blood, and I probably talk to her more than I talk to some of my family. Not on saying it's a bad thing or anything like that, but that's just the power of a woman who had no blood ties to me, but took 100% care of me while my uncle would be gone.
Right.
And like her and I, our bond, we're like this.
Yeah.
So that just speaks to the power of a woman. Especially for her to, take care of a child that's not hers and actually love the child, not be abusive to the child. So it takes a strong woman to be able to do that.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to take away from the men that are like doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
And being solid too. Again, we're not taking away from you guys, but like I said, I just wanted
This is
to
about
dedicate
them
that
right
segment
now.
just by the
Yes,
women right
calm
now.
down.
And we can talk about the men on the next episode because there's a lot of great men, like my mentors, and I'm pretty sure y'all have mentors. You guys, this is what y'all do, but we'll save that for another episode.
You know what I'm saying?
Gotta give you something to come back to, right?
Absolutely.
But I feel like, we can just end on that right there.
Hell yeah. Hey, it's been a hell of an episode. Look, we got a couple things that we want y'all to do. First of all, like, comment, and subscribe here on the YouTube channel. Where we at? Right there?
We're going to put it right here, right?
Good.
Right here.
All right, like, comment, and subscribe right there. You can reach out to us on our personal pages. Mine on Instagram is j.malachii. On Twitter, j_malachii. You, my man, what's your Instagram?
Damn, that's long. I'll just put it in the YouTube.
Oh yeah, our Instagrams will be what the hell? Our Instagrams will be right down here, and you can go follow us on Instagram, go follow us on Twitter.
It'll be in the description.
Yeah, reach out to us. Like if you guys are sending all the messages to Pete, by all means send them to Pete. Keep doing that. You make us better each and every single episode. All right, guys. Any shout outs you guys want to end with? Anything?
Nah, folks. Remember. Be brave. Be brave with your life. So
you know what I'm saying. All right. Until it's time to speak the fuck up. My name is Joe.
Peter.
Griff.
And we're out.